It was a resounding win tonight for the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. A dominating effort over the Detroit Lions, the final score. A 2-possession win at home for the Chiefs. They show the whole league that they are still to be reckoned with in the National Football League. It was a second half that was all Kansas City running the football, throwing the football. Another 4-touchdown effort for Patrick Mahomes in prime time. And early in this football game, on the opening drive of the game, it appeared that the Lions went in for an opening drive touchdown on a 4th and goal, a trick play, a wildcat snap to the running back, and a throw to Jared Goff, throwing to the quarterback as the receiver. But after a ton of deliberation, the officials ruled it to be an illegal motion penalty against Detroit, taking the touchdown off the board, keeping Detroit to only a field goal to start the game and really allow Kansas City to catch their breath. Chiefs fans, the National Football League, Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid giving their sincere thanks to the officials, as I would not be surprised if Patrick Mahomes personally this evening gave the officiating crew a gift basket for aiding on that call and in that one. But you'll hear Mahomes thanking the officials at the podium post-game. Dan Campbell will want to bite some kneecaps tonight after the disappointing loss for the Lions. But the Chiefs are only a game back in the AFC West. They are 3-3 now. Getting back to 500 on the year. The Chiefs have won 3 of their last 4. The Lions have dropped in another one here. They are 4-2. But these are still 2 really good football teams. They'll be just fine. And everybody, we will be back tomorrow night to cover Monday Night Football. Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and the Bears against Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders to wrap up Week 6.